Hey, Naomi. Okay, so basically, what you missed today was just going over the slope formula. In the past, we've said that the slope is equal to the change in the y-coordinate from one point to a different point divided by the change in the x-coordinates from one point to a different point. And we can just rewrite this change in y as just the y-coordinate of one point minus the y-coordinate of some other point, of a different point. And then we can rewrite the change in x as just the x-coordinate of one of our points minus the x-coordinate of the other point. So that's all this is. And for slope, we abbreviate that with the letter m. So I can erase the word slope and just put m. So what you'll see for slope formula is, that doesn't look right. Oh, because I'm missing the r. Ha. Okay. So for slope formula, you'll just see m equals y1 minus y2 divided by x1 minus x2. So here we're giving 2 points. One of our points is this one. And I can just rewrite this as coordinates. So I'll write it over here actually. Negative 7.5, comma, 18. And my other point is this little guy. And I will rewrite that as coordinates here. So I'm going to label my points. I'm going to label this point, point 1. I'm going to label this point, point 2. And then, because this is my x-coordinate of point 1, I'm going to label it x1. This is my y-coordinate of point 1, so I'm going to label it y1. And I can guess that you can predict what we're going to label these. This is the x-coordinate of point 2, x2. This is the y-coordinate of point 2. I name it y2. So now I can just plug in my points into my slope formula. Let me grab this. Take this up here. Okay, so in my slope formula, in the space for y1, I'm going to put my number for y1, which is 18. And in the space for y2, circle it, I'm going to put my number for y2, which is 9.5. And I circled these just so that I don't accidentally put the wrong number in the wrong spot. Just helps me kind of see what I'm doing. So 18 is y1, it's going to go right here. And since I've placed it, and then minus y2, which is 9.5. Divided by x1, which is negative 7.5. Minus x2, which is negative 4.5. I'm going to change my subtraction to plus negative. And then here I have a negative times a negative, so this will become a positive, and I can just rewrite this with that simplified down here. Then 18 plus negative 9.5 is going to give me positive 8.5. And negative 7.5 plus 4.5 is going to give me negative 3. Now, if you were to type this into Khan Academy would tell you that it doesn't accept this format or would give you some error message. And the reason why is because right here we have a decimal in a fraction. And we don't want to do that. So because we have a decimal and a fraction, we're going to just multiply the top and the bottom by the easiest thing to do. That's always going to work is if you just multiply it by 10, and then you can reduce it after that. So we'll multiply the top and the bottom by 10, and essentially multiplying it by 10 just allows us to move that decimal point over. So, because 8.5 times 10 becomes 85, and negative 3 times 10 becomes negative 30. So, then I can just reduce, go away. Then I can just reduce this. I can divide these both by 5. And I would get m equals 85 divided by 5, which is something. 17? Is that ringing a bell for me? Yeah. Okay, I think it's 17. Over negative 6. Which we can just put the negative on top and enter negative 17 over 6 as our slope. So that's all you do. You might come across a few where you have like fractions here. So you might have like this, negative 4 over 3, comma 7, and I don't know. 5 over 3, comma 1/2. You might come across something like this. And in this, the biggest thing that you'll need to remember, basically everything applies. The same thing applies. We'll still have our y, x1, y1, x2, y2. So we'll take m equals 7 minus 1/2 over negative 4 over 3 minus 5 over 3. On top, we would have to convert this 7 to 14 over 2 minus 1/2. So it has a common denominator with 1/2. Down here, we can just automatically subtract because they have common denominators. So negative 4 plus negative 5 is negative 9 over 3. And then I can simplify that to negative 3. On top, I would have, sorry, I just realized I'm talking really monotone, my bad, 13 over 2 over, and then this reduces to negative 3. And then the biggest thing that you're going to have to remember is just to, whenever you're dividing fractions by numbers, it's the same as multiplying by the reciprocal. So instead of dividing 13 over 2 by negative 3 over 1, I'm going to take 13 over 2. And I'm going to multiply it by not negative 3 over 1, but instead by negative 1 over 3, the reciprocal. And my answer would be negative 13 over 6. But that's all. Let me know if you have any more questions, and thank you so much for being so on top of everything and emailing me about when you get stuck. You rock.